Rectangle or square? By Jeff Simpson. From the time we're little, we notice different categories of things. We notice that some shapes are good for stacking and other shapes are, well, not good for stacking, but are good for something else. Sometimes when categorizing other things, we don't get the category quite right. So here's a little kid seeing a doggy. If the only small four-legged furry animal we've learned the name for so far is a dog, then we might think that every small beast is in the dog category. Think about what categories these kids might fit into. Are they children? Well, yes. Are they humans? Obviously. Are they Americans? Well, looks like probably so. Are they English speakers? Pretty likely. Are they students? Yes. They fit into at least 5 different categories. Perhaps you could think of more. What if someone asked you, which category should they be in? Are they children or are they humans? Well, you'd have to say that they fit into both categories because they are children and they are also humans. Among the earliest shapes that children learn to recognize are circles and triangles, squares and rectangles. And most first graders can easily distinguish between squares and rectangles. But most first graders are not aware that squares can fit into several categories. For example, there is a category called quadrilaterals. Quad means 4, like the Spanish word cuatro. Lateral means side, like the Spanish word lado. So quadrilaterals means it has 4 sides. So what do you think? Is this figure a quadrilateral? Yes, it is a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. Is this a quadrilateral? Yes. This one? Yep. The shape is different, but it has 4 sides. Is this one a quadrilateral? Well, of course, it has 4 sides, but even though the shape is different, and here's another quadrilateral with a different shape. Now, what about this? Is this a quadrilateral, or is it a square? Actually, it fits into both categories because it has 4 sides and it has the shape of a square. How about this? Is this a quadrilateral or is it a rectangle? Another trick question because it fits into both categories. It is a rectangle and it has 4 sides, so it is a quadrilateral. There's another category called parallelograms. If you take, well, let's say 2 parallel lines and then 2 other parallel lines, and then you put them all together, you have a parallelogram. Is this a parallelogram or is it a quadrilateral? Well, it does have 4 sides. Well, this one fits into both categories. It is a parallelogram because the opposite sides are parallel, and it has 4 sides, so it is a quadrilateral. Let's look at another figure. Take 2 parallel lines again, and 2 other parallel lines, and put them all together, and you have another parallelogram. Is this a parallelogram? Yes. Or is it a quadrilateral? Well, actually, yes. Or is it a rectangle? Yes. It fits into all 3 categories. Let's look at one more figure. Again, we'll start with 2 parallel lines and 2 other parallel lines. And then we'll put them all together. And again, you have a parallelogram. Is it a parallelogram? Yes. Is it a quadrilateral? Yes. Or is it a square? Yes, it fits into all 3 categories. And there's another category called rectangles. Have you ever noticed that rectangle sounds a lot like right angle? Well, why is that? That's because each of the four corners of a rectangle is a right angle, a 90-degree angle. Also, opposite sides are of equal length. If you stretch this rectangle to make it longer, or taller, or shorter, it is still a rectangle because there are four 90-degree angles. Now, if you make every side of this rectangle the same length, it is still a rectangle because there are four 90-degree angles, but it is also a square. Is this a rectangle? Well, it has four 90-degree angles, so yes. Or is it a square? Equal sides? It fits into both categories. Is this a quadrilateral? Has four sides? Yes. Is it a parallelogram? Opposite sides are parallel? Yes, it fits into both of those categories. So it's a quadrilateral, it's a parallelogram, it is a rectangle, and it is a square. Every dog is an animal, but not every animal is a dog. Every square is a quadrilateral because it has four sides, but not every quadrilateral is a square. These all have four sides, but not the square shape. Every square is a parallelogram because the opposite sides are parallel. But not every parallelogram is a square, as we can see in the picture. These are parallelograms, but none of them are a square. Every square is a rectangle because it has four 90-degree angles. But not every rectangle is a square. These are all rectangles, but none of them have a square shape. Well, there's more to know about squares and rectangles, but this is enough for now. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Please share these ideas with other people who can benefit from them.